Good afternoon, everybody. Obviously we're here to welcome our first-round pick. We couldn't be more excited about, after sitting down and talking with him, it honestly reminded me of the feeling I had when we hired Kevin and he came in my office and we sat and talked. I think through all these processes, people don't realize, like, these players, these people, they come to life. You do research. We had Gus go to the school. We had Shali. We had Pat, all these guys, they write reports. And so I read those reports, and the person sort of comes to life. But you don't really know the person. We Zoom with them. But until you sit in front of them for a while and really get to know who they are as a person is where it all comes, full circle. And so the person that I read about that sort of came to life, sat in front of me, and it was a great feeling. The same feeling I had with Kevin, where I love the decision we made, and I couldn't be happier. I think he embodies everything we talk about with our culture: smart, tough, competitive. Couldn't be. I don't know that there's anybody else who could embody it more. So we're excited to have him. I can't wait to get him out on the grass with these guys over here. And with that, I'll step aside and let Kevin say a few words.
Yeah, obviously getting a chance to get Lou in the building today and spend some time with him in my office, even watching tape with him. Like Kwesi said, it confirms everything that you go through the process for to try to find a player that not only fits your culture and what you're trying to build as a team, but the physical traits, not only to play the position that he plays, but just be a part of a defensive style of football we want to play, from the standpoint of the explosiveness, the vertical speed, the physicality which he plays in the run game, being a major factor there. And then the fact that he loves football. And I can just tell, talking with him, I give his coaches at Georgia a lot of credit. He's been very well coached. I think he'll fit right in with our defensive staff here. And maybe the coolest thing this morning is I think, we just were watching plays from his season and kind of comparing them, and I'd throw out some things from our defense, and I think I heard the word why 2 or 3 times, and you guys have heard me say we want players that ask the why. We want players that want to understand not only what we're asking them to do, but why we're asking them to do it. And for a young player, day one after a really early morning flight to come in and already be asking that question, I think we're off to a great start. Could not be more excited to introduce this player, not only to you guys, but I'm very excited to introduce this player to our team. I think they'll be very fired up to have him be a part of what we're doing here. So with that, I want to bring up Lewis Cine. Congratulations, man.
I want to say I'm really grateful, thankful for, the Will family for believing in me, the whole organization, Kevin, Kwesi. I'm happy to be here, happy to get started. I want to thank God, thank everyone at UGA, from coach and staff, whole organization, the whole program, coaches, family members, and everyone.
You come from the best defense in college football. Besides the great talent you guys had on there, why were you guys so good?
I think it's the whole brotherhood aspect that, that we had on our team. We were not just doing it for ourselves, we were doing it for the guy right next to us. We knew each other's whys. We knew each other on a personal level, so it made it easy to, just play ball and, loving each other for every play we made.
What are your general impressions of being at the facility, I assume, for the first time, just seeing it and all that kind of stuff?
This facility's elite, I'll tell you that. Getting a good vibe for everyone, from coaching staff, leadership, front office, just everyone. Everyone's genuine, everyone's nice. We got the chance to talk X's and O's, and all that just gets me excited. This is where I'm gonna live. This is where I'm gonna play ball. Develop as a player.
Lewis, how long have you been a safety? Was that always a position that kind of you gravitated toward?
Yeah, I've always played safety. Yeah. So there was some talks of playing corner here and there, but let's leave that in the past. But I've always played safety.
What do you like about it the most?
It's the fact that I can be all out physical and just do me on the football field and be okay with it. You think about it. Football is a violent game. A lot of things you do on football you can't do in the outside world. You get arrested. So, I love that fact. I can just enjoy the game and be okay with that. And then once I'm off football field, just be calm, laid back me.
Lewis, how much have you watched Harrison Smith or followed him over the years? Just what are your impressions of being able to play with him now?
I've watched him a whole lot. Like the fact that I'm, gonna be learning from him, taking information from him, learning experiences, tips and pointers got me excited. So from what I hear, he's a very laid back guy, real excited about football. That's what he loves. He's a film junkie. And I see the same as myself. So I think we're gonna get along real well.
Off the top of your head, what were your impressions about the type of defense that they want to play here and how you could fit into that?
For one, I want to say I'm a problem solver. The fact that I can do a whole lot of things, and coaches love that. They don't want a one-trick pony. I can run. I got the size. I'm smart. I can do everything, the whole 9 yard. So, the team is not just gonna put me on one place or the other. They're gonna allow me to, play the game at my full potential.
Sometimes the challenge for a rookie is like learning one position and getting that nailed down before you start looking elsewhere. But given the way they played you at Georgia at different spots, whether it was slot or linebacker or whatever, do you think that that's an adjustment you can make in your rookie year to do something like that here as well?
Yeah, I see myself as a pro. I always looked at that in the same light being in college. Watched a whole lot of film. I took care of my craft the right way, and it showed on the football field. I just got to carry the same thing here. But in terms of the versatility that I brought UGA, that came with me being smart and watching a whole lot of film and being a student of the game. So just carry that here, and everything will take care of itself.
You talk about being physical and some of the hits you've made. Any hits you'd like to pinpoint in your career that have maybe made part of Georgia lore on any guys?
I want to play the game safe. Let me say that for sure. Because now at this level, last thing I want to happen is to be fined. NFL fines people a pretty penny. So I want to be in the game, 1. I want to not get fined, 2. And I want to be dependable to my team, 3. So the way, to do that is, practice the safe way, the right way to tackle and bring people down.
You waited 31 picks before your name was called. From the personal accomplishment standpoint, what did it mean to you to get that, be a number 1 pick for the rest of your career?
Man, that's something I can look back and just be proud of. But at the same time, I know that, I've gotten the chance to be first-round pick by a team that I want to play for. But I know there's yet a whole lot to come. Like, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I be consistent, come day in and day out, ready to work, ready to learn, and, let everything handle itself.
Lewis, how important was that combine performance for you, and did you know you could attain that sub 4.4 speed?
Yeah, I always knew that. Even from high school to college. I always was a fast guy. A lot of people, were surprised about it because I'm a big person, tall person. So they're like, oh, how can he move at his size like that? But I always knew that's something I could do. Believe it or not, like, I didn't run a full 40 until the combine. I was just working on 10s, 10-yard splits and stuff. And then, because I always knew, like, the rest would handle itself, really.
Lewis, have you been able to talk to your former teammates about 3 of you ending up in the NFC North, and just kind of what's that like?
Oh, man, I'm really excited for them. The fact that they got their first-round picks, 1, they're going to change their whole life, their whole family's life, and play the game that they love. But whether the team they play for, I don't even want to talk about that, but I'm really excited for the guys.
Lewis, every prospect dreams of getting that call on draft night. Given that you were the last one of the first round, there's obviously some anticipation building up for that. What was that moment like for you to get that call?
Oh man, I joke about it now, but last night was kind of nerve-wracking. I was sweating. I kind of was like, oh man, all right, I guess I'm gonna go day 2. So I went to the couch about to take a nap, and that's when my phone started ringing, and it said Minneapolis. So I was like, oh, my God. So picked up the phone, Kwesi was talking, and then, kind of passed the phone around. But I was real excited to get the call.
You picked number 6, and what's significant about that?
I wanted to pick 16, but the option wasn't there. So the closest thing to 16 was the 6 without the 1. So, yeah. And plus, you know, single digits sell a whole lot, so why not?
You've lived a lot of different places in your life. Like, how does that shape sort of you as a person?
I've learned to adapt to every place I've gone. I've lived in the cold, lived in the heat, lived down south, I've lived everywhere in terms, so, you know, this is not really new to me. I've learned to adapt. I've learned to make the best out of everything. And I'm really excited I'm here. Get to know, you know, what this state has to offer in terms of the people, the culture, the vibe that it gives. So it's something that I'm really excited for, is to learn something new, try different foods, meet different cultures, different people.
Championship in Massachusetts, championship in Texas, championship in college. Just describe what it's been like to see those teams come together like that while putting your best foot forward too.
The fact that I've been to, you know, I've won different places, so I kind of understand what it takes. You know, it takes sacrifice. It takes being unselfish. It takes the late nights, you know, waking up early even though you don't want to. So, but it's all for a cause. Everybody wants to win, and when everyone wins, everyone's happy. So I know what it takes, and you know, I'm prepared for that.
I guess kind of going off that, you've mentioned a few times like being excited to learn from Harrison and from new coaching staff. How do you kind of go from, you know, being in college best defense in football to now sort of, you know, starting out as a rookie and kind of balancing that experience with wanting to learn and be the new guy?
It's a process I've been through so many times before, from, you know, middle school to high school to college, where you restart right back to ground zero. Where, you know, with me, I've always taken it with a humble step, you know, coming in, learning, finding out the older vets, learning from them, trying to follow in their footsteps and how they do things the right way. And, you know, kind of take that step to, you know, see where it leads me to. And it's always done right by me, and I don't plan on stopping it.
What part of today has made it the most real?
It's still surreal to me, honestly. Like, everything's not gonna like blow up. It's like, whoa, this is serious, until like I start looking for places to stay, and then, you know, and then have my daughter come here. So it's like it still hasn't hit me yet, you know. So yeah.
It's pretty crazy to think that almost half your starting defense was drafted last night.
I'll tell you who's happy other than myself. Kirby Smart's happy. All right, he's real happy. I mean, he set history for the school. The university is excited. So I think it's only up from here in terms of other guys are gonna get drafted. Who knows? That might not even be the only record we set. You know what I mean? So Kirby's really happy.
You were born in Haiti but grew up in Florida. What year did you move to Florida, and what circumstances led you to move to Florida?
Well, for one, it's like most people when they come from the Caribbean, Florida's the first stop. You know, if you've been to Florida, half of Florida doesn't really speak English, it's other languages. So that's kind of your first stop. You know, I have a whole lot of family members there, lived with family. And then from there, kind of moved with my dad in Boston.
How old were you when you moved from Haiti?
From Haiti?
Yeah.
I was four, about to be 5, and then moved back and forth, and then 8, moved to Boston.
Sounds like Deion Sanders was a coach of yours in high school. What's your relationship like with him?
I have the uttermost respect for Deion. I know him as Deion, not prime time. I mean, you know, he's a real humble guy, real loving, real spiritual. He has his mind straight, his priorities straight. He's come from a long way from how people see him, from how I see him. I gotten the chance to know him as a person on a deeper level. He's taught me a whole lot in terms of life, finances, relationships, and I'm grateful for him, really, and I'm blessed to say that he's in my corner.
What was he like as a coach?
He was hard. Yeah, he was old school, real old school, you know. You gotta do it. Always had a lecture, but it comes from a great place, and, you know, that's why I'm thankful for him, really.
Any more for Lou? All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Take care.